Steve, last time I spoke to you, quite a lot of bad news, about 4 or 5 pull-outs of the TV shows. A bit of good news and a bit more on the horizon, which is what you're going to tell us about now.
Yeah, I mean, last time we come, we was having a shocker, weren't we? I just made a little note here. So we had the 5 that were fighting on the TV show: Charlie Schofield, Diego Costa, both in the Ultimate Boxer, Jack Armfield, Saeed Hussein, who was on the Dennis Hobson show, and Jack Flatley. They'd all lost for whatever reason, medicals, opponents and things, so they'd all lost their opportunities to fight on TV, so that was bad, losing 5, and at the time we had 7. I mentioned that Mason Cartwright was going to be number 6, and he was the extra bad news because we'd agreed to fight, we'd agreed the monies, I'd agreed to give a couple of options, even though he's going as an opponent, you know what I mean, he's picked to lose, but unfortunately they come back and we wanted, I think it was 6 or 7 options, and it was an 18-page contract, which just wasn't right for him to sign. So we said, look, we'll do it with the 2 options which we agreed, and the money was okay, but he wasn't super special. I didn't think there'd be one problem, and obviously Mason had said he'd take the fight, but we was given a choice. It was an ultimatum, really. It wasn't a choice, take it or leave it, and so you know, it was us at the end who left it. But it's disappointing because it'd been a great fight, and it was against that Hamza Shiraz, who's a good fighter, and you know, Mason's going as opponent, and you know, he's not the favourite to win. So you know, apart from letting Mason down, it's let that Hamza Shiraz down because he's going to fight someone who's going to come and have a fight with him, someone who the British public know because he's been on the TV before, and it was a chance for him to shine. And like now, I don't know who they've got. There was talk about some Hungarian, but you know, so it's let their lad down as well. It's let their promotion down because the fight was going to be a good fight, and the paying public, the likes of us who want to see good fights on the TV. So it's a shame. I'm not going to keep going on about it, but you know, I just don't see what benefit for anybody that fight not happening. So that was another kick in the nuts. So that was like 6, and then we had one more. We had 7, and I get a text then with a picture of Jamie Cox with a cut eye, Cullen. I thought, I can't believe it. That's 7 out of 7 I've lost on the TV, and you know, you do have good runs in boxing and bad runs, and I'm thinking, fucking hell, I can't believe this, 7 out of 7. But lucky enough, one of our other bad lucks, which was Jack Armfield having the appendicitis, had let that John Doherty down, so they was looking for the opponent. So it just worked out that
perfect, wasn't it?
Cullen, training for the Southpaw anyway, steps in to fight John Doherty, which is Saturday night, and I'm really looking forward to it. You know, you've got the Heffron and Bentley fight on the Frank Warren show on Friday night, which was a good first fight, and I think it'll be a better second fight. I think one of them will get stopped. I don't know which one it will be, but I think they'll both be improved from last time, and I'm really looking forward to that. And then you've got the 3 ladies, haven't you, on the Saturday night, but I think the fight of the night will be Cullen and Doherty, and I'm really looking forward to that. And he's 7-2, Jack, so you know, he's doing a lot of talking, this Doherty. He's going to stop him in the first round, he said. You know,
very surprised.
If he comes out and has a fight with Cullen, you know, he'd be a bit of a shock. So I'm going to have a few little pennies on Jack on Saturday night. And then other good news which we can talk about, it looks like Sean Cairns has got a fight against Liam Davis for the English
as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's on the 21st of November. So that's because Mark Leach has vacated his English bantamweight title. Right. He's moved up to super bantam, and I'm hoping yesterday at the board we had some good news, and he could have been put in for mandatory for the British, but that's just something I'm hoping. I don't know if that's happened or not, but hopefully we get some good news for Mark.
Who's the British champion? Is that Brad Foster? Is that super bantam?
Brad Foster, yeah.
So Mark's now staying at super bantam.
He is.
Yeah.
You know, because of the situation he's in now, winning the eliminator and looking to get put forward to fight for the British at super bantam. But if an opportunity's come off at bantam, he can still do it. Okay. So he's flexible there. So obviously that opened up a door for Sean. Yesterday we agreed terms for Reece Mould to fight Lee Wood for the British title.
What do you think about that then? Because it was originally going to be Jordan Gill. Do you think this is a harder fight, or is it the same?
I think it's a little bit more of an harder fight because he can punch a little bit harder than Jordan Gill. I still think it's a very winnable fight. I think it is an harder fight, and you know, he's still not come out why he pulled out of the fight, that Jordan Gill. And I mean, I said at the time it's probably because he didn't fancy it, and that probably is the reason. And Lee Wood's in the same camp, and he's took it, which is great, and it will be a great fight. It's very, very exciting that. So that's going to go on, and it's not announced yet, but we're very close to Josh Warrington being announced. I think I said it last time, and so that'll go on as a support.
That'll be early next year at some point.
That'll be early next year, so I'm hoping that the Matchroom announce that fight for Josh soon, which will be big news for everybody. Yesterday, Scott Fitzgerald vacated his British light middleweight one. Simply because the circumstances to when the fight's going to happen were not ideal for him, so we're going to go in a different direction with Scott. But the good news for him, and there's loads of big Fitz fans out there, is that he's back training now, and he's looking good. And in the new year, there's a new Fitz. He won't be the madman, but but I can't see him being a normal man. But yeah, Fitz is going to be back in the new year, which is great. And then the only other couple of fights that we could look forward to, he looks like Zelfa Barrett's on the 4th of December, and then he's
Zelfa on the 4th and Linden on the 5th?
Yeah, and then Linden's on the 5th, I believe, against Yardy, but again, that's not been announced, although it's all the talk's been done, and it looks like it's announced. It's going to be announced. I think they're just waiting for what happens with Tyson Fury is probably being the top of the bill on that one there. So, as you say, from starting off from a bad point and having a few kicks in the dicks, we're turning it around slowly, and hopefully with this vaccine coming along, we might get some good news that we can have punters back at the shows, and we're itching to go. Signed about 10 good young kids on over the lockdown, and itching to get all them going. Do
you know if everything does pick up and in the new year perhaps everything's eased and they talk about a show, do you think, because normally we wouldn't have a show until perhaps March, do you think if everything, we did get the go ahead and we perhaps could put shows on, do you think you'd put them on a little bit sooner?
I would certainly do. I mean, dependent if all the kids haven't had too big a Christmas, isn't it? You know what I mean? I'd do a ring round and just find out we'd be ready to fight in February, and we'd crack on from there. So let's hope so. It might be a little bit early that, but fingers crossed,
Nice one, Steve.
Thanks for coming down, Lee.
Thanks, mate. Bye.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.